This scares me. It's like a meteor heading toward the S&P 500.
Run for your lives. Run. Tesla is coming. It's coming on December 21st. The S&P 500 is going to have a deep impact. Tesla is going to impact ground zero with a massive market cap of over $562 billion. And if that's not enough, Goldman Sachs raised its price target of Tesla today to $780 a share, causing them to take credit for Tesla's new all-time high. Index funds are going to be forced to buy over $120 billion worth of Tesla stock all in a single day. Because the S&P 500 has never seen anything like this before, Tesla is not just huge, Tesla's a monster. Tesla closed the day at $593 a share, which means that if Tesla were to enter into the S&P 500 today, Tesla would be the 6th largest company in the S&P 500, right behind Facebook and right above Berkshire Hathaway. But is Tesla too big to squeeze into the S&P 500 in a single day? What's going to happen? I mean, Tesla has already gone up 600% this year. And is Tesla stock really going to just keep going straight up forever, riding a SpaceX rocket all the way to Mars and beyond? And what does this mean for the S&P 500 anyway? Is this a good thing? Is the S&P 500 going to inherit Tesla's bullish growth or its volatility? We are going to talk about all of these things and more, and I am going to give my predictions and talk about how I plan to trade during this historic event. But first, if you would like to learn more about how to invest in great companies, then please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure that you hit that like button.
You can spend your money and keep it too.
So CNBC is currently reporting that Tesla is headed for a record close because Goldman Sachs has upped its price target to $780 a share. It just amazes me at how egocentric the mainstream investment media can be. They actually seem to believe that Tesla is up today because Goldman Sachs has increased their price target on the stock. Now, the last time Goldman rated Tesla was in mid-June, where they actually downgraded Tesla. But since that time in June, when Goldman downgraded the stock, Tesla has increased by 192%. And now, Goldman's like, whoa, we do not want to continue to look like an idiot by maintaining a downgrade on a stock that's going to the moon. So what Goldman decides to do is put a new price target on Tesla, one that's 30% higher than where it is today, figuring that's pretty safe. No matter what it does, we're going to look good. And now they're getting credit for causing the stock price of Tesla to rise. I mean, come on. This happens all the time, and it's a clear case of the tail wagging the dog. Take Nikola, for example. Loop Capital has a $35 price target on it, and JP Morgan has a $40 price target. Nikola's stock isn't coming up. It's still in the low $18 range. Why is anybody out there still buying Nikola stock? Why is this kind of thing never questioned? They raised their price target because the stock was going up without them. It's not the other way around. I mean, you don't see me claiming responsibility for the target price of Google going higher because I uploaded this video today. Wait a minute. It might be because of me. You know, I think it is because of me. That Google had better start paying me royalties or I'm going to stop. Tesla is so massive that they were talking about entering it into the S&P 500 in 2 stages, just to make it easier for the fund managers to be able to buy the roughly $120 billion worth of shares that they needed. But in the end, they went, nah, let's just do it all at once. So now everybody is going to have to buy all their shares they need in the same day.
So it's coming all at once.
Tesla and the S&P 500 happening in one day.
What kind of market impact can we expect when we do see the move, Danny?
So on the day that indexes have to rebalance to include Tesla, the market's just going to be absolutely flooded with trades. So one strategist from S&P Dow Jones estimates that $72 billion worth of trades are going to occur on the rebalancing day.
$72.7 billion of required trades are going to take place in one day. This is going to be a record-breaking amount of rebalancing. December 21st is going to be a crazy day. In order for fund managers to be able to own Tesla in the proper percentages, they're going to have to sell a little bit of everything they own. So I, for one, do not really know what's going to happen on the day Tesla is added into the S&P 500. But I am truly glad that they are doing it in one day instead of over time, because that's going to be very exciting. I'm going to be sitting there glued to the TV with my popcorn, ready for the show.
I understand that S&P's inclusion has been a catalyst for Tesla's latest move higher, but a $500 billion company, it makes no sense to me.
It's amazing. And the farther the stock goes up before it gets in, the more friction it creates upon entry.
This is true. The higher the price of Tesla goes, the more shares will have to be bought on the day of entry into the S&P. And as more shares are bought, the stock price will be pressured to go higher. And as shares go higher, short-term investors and momentum traders are going to sell their shares to collect profits, which is going to send the price of the stock back down. I mean, I hope that nobody out there really expects that inclusion into the S&P 500 is going to put an end to the volatility in Tesla stock.
Figuring out Tesla's share price?
It's like I'm an old man today yelling, "Get off my lawn." But this scares me. It's like a meteor heading toward the S&P 500. Tesla's just been on this amazing tear. But boy, I mean, even if I'm just holding an S&P 500 index fund, I'm worried about Tesla's effect, much less on Tesla itself.
It's going to be 1% just about of the index. So there you go.
I'd like to try to put an end to this one issue if I can. I've been hearing this for a while now, that Tesla's entrance into the S&P 500 is going to somehow damage the S&P 500. I mean, please, the S&P 500 is worth $27 trillion. If Tesla stock goes to zero, the S&P 500 would lose about 1% of its value. 1%. The S&P 500 is going to be fine. The S&P 500 is one of the most commonly followed equity indices, and it's extremely popular for a reason. Because if you had invested in the S&P 500 in the past, your portfolio would have beaten more than 90% of all actively managed funds. And you would have avoided paying over-bloated hidden fees that are buried in much of the funds made available to people in the United States. In fact, I frequently recommend investing into S&P 500 index funds for people who do not have the discipline or the desire to follow individual stocks. Seriously, if you have no desire to learn about all of this crazy investing stuff, then by all means get yourself a low-cost index fund like VFINX. Set up a monthly automatic payment into a Roth IRA, and then you're basically done. Okay, so what's going to happen to Tesla stock? Long-term, inclusion into the S&P 500 will definitely lend a lot of stability. Short-term, there's just no guarantee that Tesla stock is going to keep going higher. It's not necessarily going to go up, up and away forever. Tesla stock has gone up quite a bit since it was announced that Tesla was being added into the S&P 500. So a lot of the inclusion into the index is already baked into the price of the stock. Frankly speaking, most of the people buying Tesla stock right now are not high-quality investors. And S&P inclusion attracts a lot of short-term and momentum traders. These are investors who buy a stock for a quick return, and they have no plan of keeping the stock long-term. They buy en masse and run the price of the stock up. And then once the stock gets really high, they sell en masse, pushing the price of the stock back down. On the other hand, Tesla stock should go higher when all the short sellers with any brain cells left at all cover their shares and get out of their positions before they lose all their money. Then again, there are a lot of long-term investors who have made a fortune with Tesla. I can very easily see investors selling some shares to buy things like a new car, a new house, or a fancy trip to Cancun. And no matter what the reason is, if you have massive amounts of selling, stock's going to go down. The point being, anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen is selling you something. My main recommendation is that no matter what you do, please do not panic. Panic is not a strategy. If you buy some shares of Tesla and the stock drops way below what you paid for it, that's okay. Just hold on to it. It'll come back up if you give it time. I consider Tesla a long-term investment with years of growth ahead of it. So whether or not Tesla is up or down on the 22nd of December, if you're able to look 4 years into the future, it's my opinion that Tesla is going to be well north of $3,000 a share. So this chart represents the response of an average stock being added to the S&P 500. The red line represents when the inclusion took place. So whatever it is that Tesla does during its S&P inclusion, I fully expect that its chart will not look like this one at all. So what am I going to do? The bulk of my Tesla shares are all resting quietly in a Roth IRA. Tesla has completely outgrown my portfolio and is by far my largest position. And I would like to add one of legendary investors Ron Barron's funds to my Roth IRA. I'd like to add his fund BPTRX. And the reason I want to add this particular fund of Ron Barron is because this fund right here may be the only way that a regular person can invest in SpaceX. If you want to hear more about my theory on how this fund can lead to ownership in SpaceX, please check out the video I made about Ron Barron. It's right there. Ron Barron and Elon Musk are great friends, and this fund right here already has about a 40% position in Tesla. So once he starts adding SpaceX to it, it's going to be perfect. And since this fund has a 40% position in Tesla, when Tesla stock goes up, so does this fund. And conversely, when Tesla stock goes down, the fund price goes down too. Generally speaking, I believe in value cost averaging, and I never really try to time the market. But just for fun, I figured I'm going to give it a try. I'm thinking it's going to be around $1,000. So that's what I'm going to look at. And I'm going to try to sell about 20 shares right here of Tesla. And then I'm going to try to buy whatever amount of shares I can get for the money into BPTRX. So I am very aware that anytime you try to do a strategy like this, it's just as likely to go completely wrong as it is to be successful. When it's successful, it's a lot of fun, which is really what I'm going to try to do here, is have some fun. But if it completely fails and I sell the stock here, but the shares keep going up, well, I'm going to have to buy Ron Barron up there. And if the idea of failing miserably at a trade like this is going to upset you or hurt you financially, you shouldn't be doing this trade. You should be buy and holding. If this goes wrong, I'm just going to go dope and be over it in a few minutes. You need to be aware of your risk tolerance level, and you need to be aware of it before you attempt the trade. So this is the second video I've made on the S&P 500 inclusion. Please check out the first one I have right there. I'm very proud of it, and I try really hard to repeat as little as possible, so it should be mostly all new information for you if you haven't seen it. So what do you think? Are you planning on buying or selling shares of Tesla on December 21st? I respond to all comments and appreciate the time it takes for you to put your thoughts down. So please leave your comments and suggestions below. So it's official. On several of our videos, we got more than 20 likes. So our next episode will feature the premiere of the Spend Your Money and Keep It 2 Singing Dogs. Speaking of likes, if you would like to support my channel, all you have to do is subscribe, ring the bell, and make sure that you hit that like button. And don't forget, you don't have to make a lot of money at your job to become rich. Because when your money is making money, you can spend your money and keep it too. Please do not buy or sell a stock just because an idiot like JC says to do so. He's just a YouTuber. He's got opinions. You need to make up your own mind. These decisions should be made by you. And whatever you do, make sure that you monster smash that like button. Ah! Run for your lives. Like